This is Blackstone Joe, and you're listening to Slick Talk.
If I say I'm an oil man, you will agree.
There's the stink of oil about him.
Hello and welcome into episode 160 of Slick Talk. I'm your host, Blackstone Joe, and I'm glad you're here. One question I field fairly often is, should I sample right from the beginning? Meaning right from the start of an engine's life, should you sample that very first fill? Why? Of course, some people think you shouldn't or wouldn't expect good results because break-in is going to be a factor and you would expect there to be a lot of metal anyway. Why look at it? It's going to be a sample that doesn't quote-unquote have good news in it just because it's going to have a lot of wear in metal and sealer material washing out. So why look at it, right? That's a common misconception because knowing what's happening right from the start can tell you where things are going. And unfortunately, there are some cases where new engines don't end up making it very long because a problem can indeed occur. That unfortunately was the case for a customer that was sampling their brand new engine. And to start things off, the wear in sample actually looked pretty good. You know, in general, you can expect to see metals like aluminum and copper start off high. That was the case here, albeit levels that really didn't scream trouble. And in some cases, things proved to be on the right track. Copper, silicon, these are areas that did improve in a manner that was typical of wear-in and sealer material washing out. But there was one significant outlier in the trends to come. The outlier in this case was aluminum. Now, this customer was kind enough to send us several samples, so we had a really good trend established. Aluminum started out at 7 ppm, that is part per million, and really not terribly high given that 4 is currently average for this particular engine type. Aluminum stayed at 7 in the next oil change, one that was even a longer run than the first one. The customer went from about 1,000 miles on the oil, doubling up to 2,000. A stable trend, still pretty good in the context of wear-in clearing up. We expect to see some progress though. And in the third oil change, this oil having 2,600 miles on it, aluminum actually inched up slightly to 8 part per million. And then here's where things really took a turn for the worse. Aluminum went to 54 ppm. Now, this oil, with the 54 ppm result, had 4,650 miles on it. Now, if you're not familiar with any oil change beyond 3,000 miles, then this may seem like a relatively long run. Not really the case. In this particular instance, averages for the engine type are based on about a 4,400 mile interval. And again, in general, it's just not a long time to run the oil in a modern engine. Most should be capable of an oil run this length. Otherwise, in this particular engine's case, things still looked pretty good. Iron was normal, and, the majority of wearing components are going to be steel, so you would have optimism in that regard. Copper looked pretty good too. It was holding stable and in the average range. Aluminum, though, wouldn't get better. Instead, it went from 54 ppm all the way up to 67 ppm. Now, this wasn't as big of a jump as we had seen prior, and the oil change interval with this 67 ppm result was even longer still than what the customer had sampled previously. Still, that's not a good reason for aluminum to climb this way. Remember, like I just said, the majority of wearing components are steel. That's why iron tends to track with miles on the oil in most cases. But aluminum, which in this instance is going to be from pistons and bearings, it should not be climbing steadily just because you're running the oil longer. We should be seeing a stable trend emerge. And with most other metals, they were behaving in a manner that we would expect from a longer run. And aluminum was far outracing the pack, being the dominant metal and jumping steadily in a way that looks like a problem even for a new engine. In addition to encouraging people to sample an engine from the start of its life, we also like to be brutally honest with people, meaning that we will never sugarcoat things in a comment if we suspect trouble. And even in the case of a newer engine, we didn't like the way things were trending. And that's how we put it in the comment, recommending that the customer monitor for low oil pressure or an odd noise, like in this case, a knocking sound or a piston slap, given that aluminum could be from the pistons or the bearings. That was in our comment, as well as noting that we weren't seeing the ideal trend and that inspection could be in order, as well as shorter oil change intervals. A shorter run is a good call whenever an engine is wearing excessively, because the more mileage that you allow metal to build up, the worse off that oil is, in the sense that the more metal you have, it only stands to reason that the oil is not going to be doing as good of a job cleaning and lubricating if it's chock full of metal. That's simply not going to help the oil take care of the engine it's in. So we recommended a cautionary approach. Despite this being a young engine, we just weren't seeing the typical wear pattern that we want to see emerge. And fortunately, the customer was also kind enough to reach out and let us know that they were indeed noticing symptoms of trouble on their end, such as the odd noise that we suggested they look out for, along with the excess wear we can find in analysis. Symptoms of trouble on your end can be related. If you're hearing odd noise and we're seeing what looks like excess wear from the pistons or the bearings, that can help steer you in the right direction as for what's going on under the hood. Now, the bad news is this customer's engine did indeed have a problem. However, the good news is it's one they were aware of, and they had the data that they could bring to the manufacturer's attention to help secure a new vehicle. So at the end of the day, when you have a new engine, odds are good that it will settle in nicely. But on the off chance it doesn't, having the data on your side, a trend established, telling you whether or not that engine is settling in like it should, or in this case, showing the increases that can point to a problem, that's all data you would love to have on your side, especially in this customer's case. They have the numbers as well as what they're noticing when they operate the vehicle. And those two together help give you a complete picture of what's going on. So even if you have a new engine and odds are good it's settling in well, the data can give you the insight that you simply wouldn't have otherwise. So whether that engine already has some miles under its belt or if it's brand spanking new, Oil Analysis is there for you, helping you know where things stand and what to do next. That brings today's show to a close. Thank you so much for staying with us all the way into 2026. We're glad you're here. This is Blackstone Joe signing off.
The Slick Talk podcast is powered by Blackstone Laboratories. If you're ready to start your oil analysis journey, visit blackstone-labs.com to order your free test kit.